Good morning, Mom. I'm Hazel Costales, and this is my final demonstration for this subject. Allow me to start. So, good morning, grade 12 Jupiter. May I request everyone to please stand up, and may I also request Miss Ipili to lead us in prayer. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Now, for your attendance, say present if your surname is called Alibangbang, Bosque, Bendia, Ipili, Imas. Okay, it seems like everyone is present here today. Very good. Now, as I remember yesterday, I give you an assignment. And now, I want you to bring out all your assignment and pass it forward. So, and I will be the one to check your assignments later. So, pass it forward in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So, all papers here. Okay, very good. I'll be the one to check your assignments later. So, before we dive into our new lesson, let's have our recap first. So, what was our lesson about yesterday? Yes, Mr. Gonzalez. Yes, it is all about the famous local writers in Region 7, particularly in Bohol. Okay, now, who are those famous local writers? Yes, Miss Bendia. Marjorie Evasco, yes. Dr. Ulysses Aperes. And the last one is Manuel Avenido Jr. So Marjorie Evasco, as we discussed yesterday, known for her piece Is It the King's Fisher, Caravan of the Water Bearers, and The Quick Bruise and the Run of Love. And also Dr. Ulysses Aperes, known for his piece or memoir from the Memory of the Legacy, Return of Ancestral Home, and The Living Room. Okay, very good. And also, Manuel Avenido Jr., known for his piece Unsaon Pagtimplag, Baguio, yes. And Walog sa Mga Damgong, and also Makasasala Panit. We also discussed that yesterday. Okay, so all of those pieces of those three famous local writers that we discussed yesterday gives us the moral lesson that we can apply in our daily lives. Now, before we go on to our uh, new lesson, let's have a game first. So I have a game here called Find My Name in the Crossword Box. So here, you are going to find the word inside of this box, and I want you to analyze and understand the meaning below of this box. Okay, number 1. It is defined as the circumstances that form the setting for an event, statement, or idea, and in terms of which it can be fully understood and assessed. So what do you think is this? Yes? Yes, Mr. Ano? Yes, you, Mr. Jovan. Okay. Do you think it is context? So, where's the context here inside of the box? So, here's the context. Okay, let's encircle this one. Context. Context. So, number 1 is context. Second, it is used to connect words of the same part of speech, clauses, or sentences that are to be taken jointly. So what do you think is this? Yes, Mr. Delopines? Yes. Okay, you're right. It is and. So and is can be found in the upper side of the box. So there it is. Okay, very good. So number 2 is and. Number 2 is the word and. So number 3, it refers to the actual words written in the book, newspaper, blog post, or any other written work. So what do you think is this, Miss Pino? What do you think is this? Yes? Yes, it is text. Very good. So we find, where do we find text? Below the word and. So here it is. The word text. So number 3, the answer is text. Now, for the last number, it refers to the significance, purpose, or intended sense of something, especially as expressed or indicated by language, actions, or symbols. So, what do you think is this? Yes, Hannah. Yes, it is the word meaning. Yes, very good. And the word meaning can be found in the left side of the box. Okay, so here it is. Meaning. Okay, very good. Clap yourselves. Now, to give you more, I have here an activity, and I want you to. I have here an activity, and I want you to read and understand the poem written by Danton Remoto, and I want you to try to think what this poem of him wants to convey. Then answer the following questions below in a 1/2 crosswise paper, and I want you to do it by pair. So here's the poem. Kindly pass it forward. Are you done? Opens up if you're done. Okay, you are now done. Now, the first questions we have here: who are the characters of the poem? So who are the characters of the poem? Yes, Miss Bendia. Yes, Padre Faura and Jose Rizal. So who is Padre Faura? Miss Bendia. Yes, a priest and a Rizal's former mentor. And who is Rizal? Rizal is the Pepe in the poem. He is the one being executed in the poem, and former student of Padre Faura. The second question, who do you think speaks in the poem? Who do you think speaks in the poem? Yes, you, Mr. Jovan. Okay. Okay, great answer. So according to Mr. Jovan, the speaker of the poem is Padre Faura. The poem is written from his perspective, allowing us to witness his emotional turmoil or his experiences, her feelings as he watches the execution of his former student. The third question is discuss or what is the form or structure of the poem? The poem. Yes. Okay. You, Miss Ishmael. The poem is written in free verse. So why do you think so? So according to Miss Ismael, the poem is written in free verse as the lines varies in length. So it is correct. Your answer is correct. Meaning the poem is written in free verse. Meaning it does not follow a strict rhyme or a scheme or a method. And that's it. Now for the next question in your activity. What was the situation when Padre Faura stood in the balcony of Ateneo de Manila? What was that situation all about? Huh? Yes, Miss yes, you, Mr. Jovan, again. That situation is when he witnessed the execution of his former student. So that scene, class, was filled with tension and sorrow as he reflects on the past interaction and the tragic circumstances surrounding by Rizal's death. Now, the last question for your activity. To whom the poem addressed? And explain your answer. Who else? Yes, you, Miss Limbag. What is your answer? Okay. Good answer. So according to Miss Limbag, the poem is addressed to the Filipino people, which is correct because the poem is trying to evoke reflection on Rizal's legacy and his sacrifices he made just for us, just for our country, to have our freedom. Very good. Clap your hands for that, class. Okay, thank you. Now, What have you noticed in our poem? What have you noticed in our poem? How do you, have how what have you noticed in the poem? Yes, Miss Alimbangbang. Yes, you not yes, okay, very good. Your answer. So according to Miss Alibangbang, he noticed that the poem is all about results being hero in our country as he offer his life to our beloved country just for us to have the freedom that we are enjoying right now. Next, who has the another idea? Anyone? Anyone from the class? Yes, Miss Sumingit. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, great answer. Thank you for that. So according to Miss Sumingit, what she noticed in the poem was is that the poem has sadness and tension because of the execution of Rizal in that part of the poem, which is also correct. Now, for the second question, how do you feel while reading the poem that Padre Faura witnesses the execution of his former student? How do you feel? How do you feel in that particular in that particular situation? Yes, Miss Anna. Yes, you feel there's a feel of sadness and empathy as because yes, Padre Faura has nothing else to do but to watch but to witness the execution of his former student, which is really bad, and we can say that the poem is really sad. A deep has this deep sadness and empathy. Now next we have why do you think I don't know. What is the message of the author wanted to convey in this poem? What do you think is the message of this poem? Yes? Huh? What was the message rather of the author wanted to convey in this poem? Yes, Miss Manit. Yes. Okay. Very good. Now, according to Miss Manit, the author wants us to remember these sacrifices for freedom and how his legacy continues to inspire Filipinos, which is also correct, in which it also reminds us that true heroes often make great sacrifices for the betterment of the others. In short, a true heroes are not selfish. Okay, very good. Now, I want you to uh, read our objective first before we going to start our formal discussion for today. And kindly read first our objective. Everybody, identify the different types of context. Now, later you're going to identify the different types of context. Second, we have here construct your own analysis, interpret the given context. And last, appreciate the importance of context of the text meaning. Okay, very good. Now, we are going into our formal discussion. We are now in our formal discussion. Okay, now for today, we're going to discuss our new lesson for today, context and text meaning. So what is context? Can you read, everybody? Okay, thank you. So context, it is all about the background information or the setting of a story. For instance, if you see a picture of a person wearing a coat, you might not know if it is cold or they are just fashionable. But if you know the picture was taken in the winter, then you understand the context. It is cold, and that's the reason why the person is wearing the coat. Okay, very good. Now, we have here the types of context. The first one is the writer's context. Can you read it, everybody? Okay, thank you. So writer's context, it is the idea of the author as he or she writes the story based on his or her belief or experiences in life and even in his or her personal background. So writer's context, for example, the author write or create that poem, the poem of um, Danto Rinoto, Rinoto rather. So the author write or create that poem for he cares about the fairness and equal rights of the Filipino people. So Danton Rinoto, the author of that poem, is not just telling the story. Understood? It's just he's trying to understand what it felt like to be Padre Faura, the priest watching it happen. You understand? Okay, very good. The next we have reader's context. Can you read it, everybody? Okay, thank you. So reader's context, it is all about the perception and interpretation of the reader in the specific story that he or she read. So reader's context, like in the same example in that poem that I'll give you a while ago, as read about that text, we somewhat felt and experienced the struggles, right, and the violence of execution was, even though we only read the text, the poem, right? Okay, very good. Now we have here the third types of context. Text context. Kindly read it, everybody. Okay, thank you. So text context, it is the overall idea of the text. It is overall the idea of this text. So on the same example, in the same poem. So poem was written from the point of view of Padre Faura rather. In his poem, he uses strong images like cold morning, soldiers with guns, a bright fire to show the contrast between the beauty of nature and the violence of the execution in Rizal. So, which gave us also an idea on what was happened. Yes, what happened before. Okay, very good. Now we have here the last type of context, social context and social cultural. Kindly read it, everybody. Okay, very good. So social context or social context and social cultural context, it is the world where the story is based. It features the society in which the characters live and in which the author produce the text or produce the literary work. And that is the social context and social cultural context. And these are the types of context. Now moving on, we have here the types of imagery. So imagery, creating a picture in the reader's mind by using words that appeal to the senses. Now, the first one is visual imagery. So visual imagery produced using words that appeal to the sense of sight. So for example here, I see Pepe, a blur between the soldiers with their muzzers raised. So here we can clearly identify that this example is really a visual imagery from the word see, right? It uses or it appeals to the sense of sight. Now next is auditory imagery, produced by using words that appeal to the sense of hearing. For example, the sound of the muzzers raise and aim. So here, we clearly also identify or understand that this example is auditory imagery as it uses the sound. Next is we have kinesthetic imagery, produced by using words that appeal to the actions and movement. So for example, I stand on the roof shivering. So here we can clearly understand that it is belong to kinesthetic kinesthetic imagery, as it also uses an action. It appeals to the action and movement from the word itself here, the word stand. Okay, understood? Questions or clarifications? Okay, none so far. Okay, thank you. Now, to test you if you really understood our lesson for today, I have here a short activity. Here, just give me a moment. Here's your next activity. Here, I want you to read the poem and identify which types of context being used in this poem. Either whether writer's context, readers, text context, social and cultural context. And I want you to work individually and write your answers in a 1/4 sheet of paper. So I only give you 5 minutes to do this activity. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pass your papers forward and kindly change your papers to the other row. Okay, now let's check your work. So, the first one. This poem reflects the emotional pain of Padre Faura as he witnesses the execution of Jose Rizal. So, what do you think is this? Okay, let's find out. Yes, it is writer's context. So just for a moment, it is writer's context. It is writer's context. The second one, this poem helps readers understand the sorrow and significance of Rizal's death, encouraging reflection on his legacy. So what do you think is this? Yes, Miss Ipili. Reader's context. Let's find out if your answer is correct. Yes, you're right. It is reader's context. Now the third one. The poem is a reminder of how Rizal's sacrifice helped ignite the Filipino fight for the independence from the Spain. What do you think is the answer, Mr. Mr. Dulumpines? What do you think is the answer for number 3? Yes, okay. Oh, social and cultural context. Let's find out if your answer is correct. Number 3. Yes, you're correct. The answer is social and cultural context. And number 4. Danton Rimoto, the poet, uses Padre Faura's perspective to explore the emotional impact of witnessing Rizal's death. So what do you think is the answer? Miss Limbag, what do you think is the answer for number 4? Yes, it is writer's context. Let's see if your answer is correct. Yes, you are correct. The answer is writer's context. Now, for number 5. In the poem, the image of the shimmering star symbolizes how Rizal's influence remains strong even after his death. So what do you think is the answer for number 5? Yes, Miss Antonia. Yes. Okay, let's find out if your answer is correct. Yes, you're right. It is text context. Now for number 6, who wants to answer? Yes, you, Miss. Yes, you, Miss Sumingit. What is the answer for number 6? Okay, let's find out if your answer is correct. Yes, you are correct. The answer is social and cultural context. Okay, very good. It seems like you really understood our lesson for today. Now, based on the poem, based on your understanding, what do you think is the importance of having context and imagery in any literary work? Why do you think it is important? Yes, Miss Ipili. Okay, thank you, Miss Ipili. So according to Miss Ipili, The importance of having context and imagery in any literary work is to give us or provide us clear understanding and engagement, which is also true. Now, who has another idea? Yes, Mr. Gonzalez. Mm-hmm. Okay, great answer. So according to Mr. Gonzalez, context and imagery are both important in any literary works as it helps us understand the story setting, characters, and even the meaning of the text. Okay, very good, class. Now, for, for the next question, why do you think it is important to choose and appreciate our own Philippine literature? Who wants to volunteer? Yes, Miss Antonio, you may. Okay, thank you. So according to Miss Antonio, appreciating Philippine literature is important because it connects us to our cultural heritage, which is also correct, for it helps us understand ourselves and our places in the world. For that specific uh, to show appreciation of Philippine literature, we can celebrate our unique stories, and we can easily and give our supports to our Filipino writers. Okay, very good. Seems like everyone really understood our lesson for today. Now, I have here another poem. I have here another poem, and I want you to and I want you to wait, just give me a second. Where's the poem? So I have here the poem, Ernest Wish by Lydia Villanueva, rather. So here I will group you into three groups. This will be the group 1, group 2, and group 3. Now, for this, I want you to read and understand the poem below and create an analysis or interpretation, and kindly answer the following question, as well as write your answers in a long bond paper. I only give you um, 10 minutes to do this. Pass it to your group mates. To your group mates, please. Okay. Thank you. Are you all done? Ball pens up if you're done. Okay, seems like everyone is done. Let's check your work. So number 1. Oh. Okay, the answer for number 1 is letter B. Number 2 is B. Number 3 is letter B again. And number 4 is also B. Number 5 is letter C. Number 6 is letter A. Number 7 is letter B. And number 8 is letter B. So count the numbers of scores and pass it forward. For numbers 9 to 10, I'll be the one to check your answers for that, and also your interpretation about the poem that you created. Pass it forward, okay? All papers here? Okay, thank you. Now for your assignment, in a 1 sheet of paper, create at least 3 to 4 stanzas of poem, considering the usage of imagery and the context. And your poem should evoke vivid images in the reader's mind using descriptive language to paint pictures through your words. Okay, any clarifications? Questions? Okay, here. Okay, none so far. And that's all for today, class. Goodbye. See you again tomorrow. Thank you, class.